Hi everyone, so today I wanted to film for you, but I'm actually not going to be in this video because I'm going to give you an updated perfume collection video, old school YouTube style, and I love perfume. Those of you who've been subscribers here for a while will know that perfume is one of my biggest kind of passions in beauty. I don't know what it is about it, but I just love it. And I do genuinely wear all of these perfumes here. Not every day, not all the time, but I do wear all of them. I like different ones for daytime, different ones for nighttime, different ones for spring, different ones for summer, different ones for winter, different ones for autumn. You get the gist. I'm making excuses up now, but I just really like perfume. If you're wondering why I have so many as well, there's probably like over 30 there, I think. I actually did some work for Fragrance Direct a couple of years ago, and they did send me quite a lot of perfumes, so that's where a lot of them did come from. However, I have bought quite a few myself, like recently, and I can look and I can already see like 4 that I know that I bought myself in kind of the last year or so, and I also like get given them as gifts from people sometimes because perfume's a nice gift, and I always like perfume. It always makes me feel happy. So yeah, I'm going to talk to you about each fragrance individually. Everything else will be linked down below in the description box for you, so go and check that out if you want names or you didn't catch something or that kind of thing. And another thing is, if you're wondering about my nails throughout this video, let me just show you. These aren't my nails. A lot of people got a bit confused by it on Instagram. These aren't my nails. These are just false ones from Primark. They were like £1. They don't fit my nail beds particularly well because I've got really small nail beds, but I didn't have time to do my nails, so I just stuck these on the other day and I'm quite enjoying them. I've had them on for days now and I've been quite rough with them and they've stayed on. So yeah, without further ado, let's talk perfume. So let's start with this Absolute Beauty from Marc Jacobs, which is Decadence. The bottle of this is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life. I absolutely love it. And in terms of the fragrance itself, it's a very mature fragrance for Marc Jacobs. It's very much a winter fragrance. For me, I think for a lot of people it would be more of a nighttime fragrance, but I think in the very cold months you can get away with wearing it during the day. It is very kind of mysterious. It is quite warm smelling and very grown up, because usually Marc Jacobs fragrances do tend to be very fresh and light and floral. This is none of those things. It's a grown up perfume and definitely one that kind of has a presence about it. It's not one of those you just wear it and forget about it. It's one of those that sticks to your coat, sticks to your scarf, and I love it. It's a beautiful fragrance, and I think that it's one of the most gorgeous perfume design bottles I've ever seen. Then, as I stated at the beginning of this video, I'm not a perfume snob. I will wear cheap perfume, I will wear celebrity perfumes, and this is a perfect example. This is Gold Magic, which is one of Little Mix's fragrance, and I know you think that might sound hilarious, but it's a really nice perfume, and it's not what you'd expect from a Little Mix fragrance. I know, like, if you asked me what I would expect from one of their fragrances, I would say that it would be very sweet, very girly, kind of not very sophisticated, but this is actually quite masculine, and it's a very sophisticated smell for what you would think a Little Mix perfume would smell like. So I really like this. I think it's actually a really lovely fragrance, and definitely one that I wear a lot in the springtime because it's not too much and it's quite a kind of nice fresh scent as well. My camera keeps going out of focus, doesn't it? There we go. But I really like that one, and it's literally like £7. This is another great springtime perfume. This is Sunny Alice by Vivienne Westwood, which I think is the second one. The first one was Naughty Alice, wasn't it? This is quite powdery, quite kind of mature, but in a nice way. Nice springtime one, nice everyday one if you don't want something that's too in your face. And this is actually one that does get compliments a lot, and I think the bottle of this is very cute as well. So this one is yet another celebrity one, and this is really tacky actually, because this is one of the Kim Kardashian ones, not even the cool crystal Kim Kardashian ones that she's doing now. This is a older one, but this is actually a really lovely perfume, and it is a good dupe for another perfume that I'm going to show you later, which is the Narciso Rodriguez for her. I did move the camera a little bit more central because I thought that I wasn't kind of showing you as much of the perfumes, and I was going from kind of that side. You can't even see where I'm pointing, can you? I was actually going from right to left and it got a bit confusing. But yeah, this is quite an unusual perfume. It's very gardenia based, very floral. Definitely a nighttime perfume, not something I would wear during the day. I don't actually even know if you can get this anymore. I think the bottle of it is really not very pretty. That lilac-y colour is really horrible. But the fragrance itself is actually very nice. Then we have this, which is Loverdose Tattoo by Diesel. And this is quite a warm fragrance, quite vanilla based, but not too vanilla-y, because I don't like that in a fragrance. I kind of think like, why do I want to smell like cake? But it's a very, very nice fragrance for the winter time. Quite warm, vanilla-y, nice. I think something that probably would be quite a popular choice and quite mainstream, if I'm being honest. It's not one I wear particularly often or that I love, but it's a nice perfume. It's just not one that's particularly me, but yeah, I don't think the bottle of this is particularly nice either, if I'm being honest. Then we have this OTT perfume, which is Daisy by Marc Jacobs. This is the Daisy Oh So Fresh. The original Daisy's got a little bit more of packs a little bit more of a punch. This is slightly more floral, but very, very light. Doesn't last very long, just very, very pretty. Easy to wear, spring, summertime perfume, very inoffensive. One that I think most women would actually really like. And I think the bottle of it is really fun. Then I have this, which I think somebody actually bought me this as a gift a couple of years ago. And I remember when I first started watching YouTube, Juicy Couture perfumes were the thing that everybody had. Everybody was obsessed with Love, Peace and Juicy. This one, I believe, is Viva La Juicy. And it's really lovely, actually. Really, really pretty, floral, soft. It's got kind of like a nice warm base, but not too warm. And it's still quite floral and pretty. I think the bottles of these are quite good fun as well. And it's just a really nice perfume. Good gift option if you're trying to buy something for somebody as well. Then next up we have Lime, Basil and Mandarin by Jo Malone, which is the first Jo Malone fragrance I've ever bought, and definitely one I would repurchase. I think it just smells like what it says, lime, basil and mandarin, but not in a basil smells like food type of way. It's lovely, it's fresh, it's green, it's citrusy. It's just really lovely, and it lasts quite well, which isn't something that you can say about most Jo Malone perfumes, actually. I tend to find their longevity is like average, not amazing like some people say it is, but this one does last really well. These two I thought I would show you together because they were from the same brand, which is the Library of Fragrance. It was a brand that was in Boots, but has kind of been discontinued now, and it's a shame because it was actually a really cool brand, and they had like perfumes that smelled like books and fresh baby powder and like ocean and gin and tonic and really random things. It was a really fun launch, actually. And I've got the peach and the cherry blossom one here, both very pretty. Peach literally just smells like a kind of juicy peach, but in a kind of more like a sun-ripened peach, if that makes sense, if you could imagine that. And the cherry blossom one, fun fact, if you've ever had the Paris Hilton fragrance as a teenager, which I did, it smells a little bit like that, but you can't get these anymore anyway, but I thought I'd just show them to you because they're actually a really cool perfume. My mum loves this range, she's got loads from the range, and sometimes you can still find them in TK Maxx, but they don't stock them in Boots any longer. Then this one is a really fun perfume. This is actually my go-to Christmas perfume. I always wear this around Christmas time, which is Nina by Nina Ricci. It smells like crisp, sweet apples. It's kind of got that little bit of a caramelly vibe, really festive and Christmassy. Not one I would wear kind of for the rest of the year, but it is very, very pretty and kind of a nice fun perfume. I think the bottle of this, I can't decide if I think it's cute or if it's a bit yuck, but yeah, I really like it anyway. Always wear it around Christmas time, and it reminds me of kind of festivity. You'll have to excuse me with this one. I can't actually remember the name of this fragrance, and it doesn't say it anywhere on the bottle. It just says Roberta Cavalli, and I can't think what it is. I'm going to have to look it up, and I will put it in the down bar for you. But this is very tropical. It smells like coconuts and sunshine, and kind of like, you know, the smell that your skin gets when you've been in the sea in the sun? Or is that just me? It smells like that. The bottle of this is so OTT, I kind of love it. And it's just a very nice summery perfume. I would only wear it in the proper summer though. So this one right here is Intimately Beckham by David Beckham. I believe this one has actually been discontinued now, which makes me very sad because I happen to really, really like this. I think it's very sophisticated for a celebrity fragrance. It's a nice kind of everyday work perfume. If you don't want to spend too much money and you kind of work in an office environment, I think this is a really, really nice launch. And I'm very sad they don't make this anymore because it is a very, very good perfume for the price. And I think the bottle looks quite chic as well. It's kind of inspired by one of the Gucci perfumes, isn't it? Then we have this one, which is Burberry Brit, which is actually really unusual for a fragrance, I think. It's quite fresh and light, but it's also got a little bit of something warm to it. Something a little bit almost peppery, almost a little bit unisex actually, but in a really, really lovely way. I really do like this perfume. I wear it a lot in the kind of autumn time, and it's just a really nice kind of unusual fragrance, and I think the bottle of it is quite cool. I kind of like the nice Burberry traditional plaid, and I definitely think that is one that isn't talked about enough because it is really lovely. This is another really lovely fragrance actually that I wear very often this time of year, which is Beauty by Calvin Klein. It isn't particularly floral or particularly sweet if I had to describe it. It's just very elegant, very ladylike, a little bit powdery, and quite clean smelling, but grown up, but in a kind of modern way, if that makes sense. I think the bottle of it's quite nice, and it's just a perfume that I wear very, very often because it's a kind of suit all moods type of fragrance. So Kim Kardashian again, and then you can see me. Can you see me in the bottle waving up here? There I am, and the tripod. So this is Kim Kardashian Gold, I think this was called. I actually prefer the bottle of this one to the purple Kim Kardashian one, but this one is very, very sweet, very much a wintry one. It's kind of like a nice evening fragrance, and it is quite kind of smoky, but very, very sweet, and one that I think a lot of people would actually like if they gave it a chance, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not sure where you can get these anymore, but it is quite a nice fragrance. Then we have Rogue by Rihanna. If you're wondering why I have so many celebrity fragrances, it actually is because I did a video a few years back for Fragrance Direct about celebrity fragrances, so they just sent me a bunch. But this is actually really nice. I think the bottle of it is quite cool. It is a little bit creamy and kind of vanilla-y smelling, a little bit of sandalwood in there, and it also is a little bit floral, but quite grown up, and not what you would actually expect from a Rihanna fragrance, if I'm being honest. It is actually quite a nice fragrance, and one that I think a lot of people wouldn't have necessarily given a go, but it is actually quite nice. Then we have Narciso Rodriguez For Her. I love this. It's very, very sexy. It's kind of like patchouli, and it's almost a little bit sour smelling, but I love it. I love the bottle. I think this kind of pink's really gorgeous, and definitely one that I would wear in the evening time. It's a very, very sexy scent, and it's one that, like I said, the Kim Kardashian, the original purple one, smells a little bit similar. It's a more affordable dupe. Another great dupe for this, like a really similar dupe actually, is Lovely by Sarah Jessica Parker. Very, very similar, maybe a tad fresher. I haven't actually got Lovely anymore because I used it up, but that is one that I did really like, and it smells really similar. Next up we have Look by Vera Wang. I'm a little bit funny with Vera Wang fragrances. There aren't many that I particularly like, but this one is very light, very fresh, very easy to wear. It's almost got a little bit of a cologne feel to it, but one that I think most people would like, and you just kind of smell clean and fresh and nice. It's not distinctly floral or distinctly sweet, but it's just kind of like a nice smell, if that makes sense. Next up we have this one by Semiaki, which is I want to say it's called like, is it like L'Eau de Sea Flora, something like that. Really nice floral. I have actually had this for quite a while, to be fair, but I've used quite a bit of it up, and it is a very, very nice fragrance. I think it's nicer than the original Semiaki one that was from this range. However, the men's Semiaki one from this range is my favourite men's fragrance ever. It's lovely. But this one's a little bit sharp but floral at the same time, just like the original one, but with added floralness. And then we have this, which is Dolce & Gabbana's Light Blue. This is perfect for summertime. If it's a really hot day and feeling perfume makes you feel a bit icky, you need this in your life. It smells peppery and lemony and like a clean shower. It's a little bit masculine, but in the nicest way possible, and it's just a really delicious smell. It makes you instantly think of like a hot beachy day, and kind of salt water. It's really, really lovely. It's a very old fragrance actually, but it is just such a nice one, and one that I do always wear in the summertime. Next up we have this from Jo Malone, which is more of a recent addition, which is Mimosa and Cardamom. Similar to the Marc Jacobs one actually, it's quite warm and kind of, it has a little bit of a sandalwood base to it. It's a very unusual perfume. It's not one if you like very floral or very obvious scent. It's a slightly more unusual scent, but one I really like. Definitely one that would be nice for autumn, winter, and it's a different smell for Jo Malone. It's actually quite unusual and quite sophisticated, so definitely one that I will be reaching for in the autumn time. Then we have this, which is the original Chloe fragrance. I believe this is the original one. Very floral, very girly, almost more of a sharp floral, kind of a white floral, and one that does definitely get a lot of compliments. Every time I wear this, I always get compliments from people. So definitely one that is quite a crowd pleaser. It's not the most unusual of scents, but it is very nice for summertime, I think. And it's quite a good day to night fragrance. You could wear it in both and you'd be okay. These two I just wanted to give a quick honorary mention to. This is just a random Superdrug one. It's the bergamot and cucumber one. I'm testing it out. I haven't quite made my mind up yet, so I didn't want to kind of include that. But this is actually an empty bottle of one of my all-time faves, which is the Monsieur Cherie, but it's this version. Is it like low? I don't know how you pronounce that. And it is beautiful. It was such a lovely fragrance. They have stopped making it anymore because, as I said, it was limited edition, and it makes me very sad, so I just keep the bottle because I'm a bit of a loser like that. This one is Dulce by Dolce & Gabbana. Again, very lovely summertime, springtime fragrance. I actually haven't used as much of this as it looks like I have. It leaked during the move, which was great. But I love this fragrance. It's just very floral, but a little bit sweet. Not too much. Kind of what you expect from a brand like Dolce & Gabbana, if I'm honest, actually. I do think that their fragrances kind of go very well with the ethos of the brand. And it's just a very nice, easy, wearable floral fragrance. Good one you could buy someone as a gift. I don't think it's the type of thing that you could not like. So this one is a recent addition to my collection, and it is Gucci Bloom. Now this is one that a lot of people have actually been talking about from what I could see online, and it's definitely the type of fragrance that is a little bit of a hit and miss with people. I love it. It's very floral, very kind of patchouli based, and it's quite powdery but in a really lovely way. It's quite sharp as well. I love it to death. It's my favourite fragrance at the moment, but it is one that I don't think would necessarily be for everyone. I really like the bottle. It's that kind of millennial nudie pink, and it's just a really lovely fragrance. Definitely one that I think wouldn't be to everyone's taste though. Next up we have this one, which is also a recent addition to my collection by Dolce & Gabbana. This is number 3, and this is lovely. It's very sweet, floral, peach. That's kind of the only way I can think to describe it, but it's beautiful. It's quite affordable for one of their fragrances, I think, as well. You do get a lot in the bottle. I think the bottle actually looks quite nice and quite chic, and it's definitely a lovely springtime perfume, and one that a lot of people seem to like. Every time anyone ever comes around, like a friend or any of my sisters, they always gravitate towards this and really like how it smells. So yeah, really, really pretty and very kind of girly smelling. Then we have C by Chloe, which is a really, really lovely fragrance actually. It's slightly unusual in terms of it's not as floral as a lot of the other Chloe fragrances tend to be, but it definitely is a little bit more powdery, a little bit more subtle, if that makes sense, and definitely one for those of you who don't like too noticeable a perfume. This will be for you. It's really, really lovely, and I really like the bottle of it as well. I think it's just really simple and pretty. Then we have this Zara one, which is Zara Oriental. This is a really, really good find for a more affordable perfume. I think it's like £10, £9, and it's beautiful. It's really warm. I wear it in the winter tons. I always get tons of compliments about it. Men seem to really like it for some reason. I think the bottle's actually really quite chic and lovely, and the perfume itself is a very distinct smell. I've got a friend who wears this, and as soon as I smelled her, I was like, is that what you're wearing? And she was like, yeah, how did you know? No one knows this perfume. But I do tend to wear it quite a lot in the winter time, and I just think it's a really lovely, really kind of chic perfume for a very affordable price. And then last but not least, we have this one by Stella McCartney. This is the original Stella. I do actually like all of the Stella McCartney fragrances, but this one is my favourite. It's quite rose based. A cheaper dupe for this would be Paul Smith's Rose, but I think this is a little bit more complex. And if I had to pick a favourite fragrance, which I wouldn't like to have to do, then this would probably be it, because it's just beautiful. I get endless compliments when I wear it, and it's definitely just such a chic, classic perfume. So there you have it, my perfume collection. I would love to know what your perfume recommendations are, because I'm always in the mood for perfume, and I hope how I described the scents was okay for you and like gave you a good enough description. It's kind of hard because you don't want to say, well, this has this note and that note, because realistically, how many of us actually know what any of these notes mean? probably not very many, but it just makes a nice change to be able to chat about perfume, because it's not something I do all the time on here, and I really like talking about perfume. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making this video, and yeah, let me know your favourite perfumes in the comments. Bye!